Hello everyone, you're now with me, Ruben Gomez for TVS Nightline. Now, let's begin. Gedong officially became a full district today. Gedong is one of 5 new districts approved by the state government this year to enable it to provide better administration and service delivery to the people. Chief Minister Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said he has a big plan to develop the new district of Gedong into a satellite town.
Gedong. Jadi Gedong maknanya jadi satu pekan pinggiran bandar. Dan sebab itu kita akan merancang Gedong sebagai satellite township. Dan tanahnya, kawasan kampung, rumah panjang sudah tentu dapat menikmati kemajuan pertanian moden. Inilah harapan kita dan impian kita. Jadi Gedong, Semunjan, Sadong Jaya, Asal Jaya sudah tentu dapat menjadi satu kawasan integrated bersepadu dalam kita meningkatkan corak hidup masyarakat kita.
He said this during a symbolic launch and presentation of Watika at the Dewan Datuk Petinggi Ali in Gedong today. The decision to elevate Gedong to a district was made after studying the plans and direction for the area's development, added Abang Johari.
Adik kakak itu adalah impian buat Gedong. Impian anak Gedong. Sebagaimana saya katakan tadi, apabila rapat dengan Samarahat, di sanalah letaknya institusi pengajian tinggi. Nombor 2-nya ialah pusat penyidikan yang berteraskan kepada hasil biodiversity kita. Dan juga yang ketiga ialah dari Semahan terus ke Kuching melalui jabatan baru sejingkat. Maka Gedong dengan Kuching, kalau jabatan dah siap, lebih kurang 40-50 minit dari Gedong. Jadi Gedong maknanya jadi satu pekan pinggiran bandar.
Back in the 1960s and 1970s, Gedong was just a small village that had grown as the years went as various developments were implemented to build roads and supply water and electricity. For the locals, seeing Gedong being upgraded to a full district was most auspicious. It promises more opportunities for the locals as this recognition will further boost the development in the district, similar to other districts that have benefited from various projects and infrastructure upgrades. Back in the days, says Paniar Kawi, he had to use boats to go to Semunjan.
Saya lalui dari tahun 74 sampai 92. Nak pergi Semunjan berkayuh, pakai sampan. Jadi kini tu kita pakai kereta. Tekan jari, telefon kita ada, semua ada. Marik siap ada. Saya ngatur cawangan dalam N17 Semunjan, berjalan turun bukit, naik bukit sampai 6 jam, 7 jam. Tapi sekarang 2 minit, 3 minit kita sampai. Alhamdulillah. Jadi mengenai hal pembangunan memang kita alu-alukan.
Similarly, Hussein Mood says that Gedong used to be a village and the only route for the villagers to reach other areas was by river.
Ketika itu perhubungan ke Semunjan, ke Sirian menggunakan jalan sungai. Pakai sungai lah. Pakai bot, pakai perahu, pakai. Tapi bila ada jalan raya tu sampai ke Gedong, alhamdulillah pergerakan dapat dimudahkan dengan lebih dekat dan lebih cepat lagi lah. Dan yang terbaru ni jambatan Semunjan, dulu nak pergi Semunjan ni kalau ikut jalan darat 2 jam lebih. Kalau ikut bot dekat 2 jam juga. Tapi dengan adanya jambatan Semunjan Batang Sadong itu, perjalanan dapat dipendekkan sampai 20 minit saja.
Meanwhile, Gedong incumbent Dato' Muhammad Naruddin Majai said the district will progress tremendously if Chief Minister Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg becomes its elected representative.
Kita berdoa agar bahagian Semerahan amnya dan daerah Gedong khasnya akan berupaya memenuhi keperluan bandar dan negeri, menjadi pengeluar produk pertanian pusat, tarikan pelancong, hub kesukanan penyediaan peluang pekerjaan dan sebagainya. Saya mohon agar seluruh rakyat di Dun Gedong itu khasnya dan seluruh rakyat Sarawak amnya di bawah pimpinan Yang Berhormat Ketua Menteri supaya menyokong beliau sebagai pemimpin TVS dan menang di Gedong dengan bergayanya di masa akan datang.
Naroden said he will continue to assist Abang Johari in coordinating and ensuring development plans are implemented smoothly. In 2016, Naroden won the Gedong seat with a majority of 3,365 votes after defeating Parti Amanah Negara Amanah candidate Repelson Richard and independent candidate Uja Bans. In the upcoming election on December 18, Abang Johari, who moved from Satok to contest in Gedong, will face Thompson Anggo from Parti Bumi Kenyalang, Muhammad Sofian Faris Shabini from Parti Sarawak Bersatu PSB, and Kamal Bujang from Amanah. The elevations of Gedong into a new full-fledged district will facilitate the delivery of government services to the people as the Gedong Administrative Office will be set up. The office will coordinate all government programs and projects in Gerong District, which will spur the socio-economic development of the area.
According to the State Secretary, Dato' Amar Jaul Samion, there are 265 villages and longhouses registered in Gedong under the Simunjan District Administration. As Gedong will have its own administrative office, Jaul says the burden of Simunjan District Office will be reduced and the government services to the people of Gedong will be more responsive and easier.
Apabila pejabat daerah Gedong beroperasi sepenuhnya nanti, semua urusan pentadbiran seperti pengurusan harta pusaka atau probet, pengurusan anak angkat, pengurusan mahkamah mitra, pentadbiran hal ehwal ketua masyarakat dan ketua kaum, serta urusan permohonan kebajikan akan diuruskan di pejabat daerah Gedong sendiri dan agensi-agensi yang akan membuka cawangan di Gedong nanti.
The federal government will support the efforts of the state government in developing Gerong District into a satellite township. To realize the effort, Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said the ministry will support the Sarawak government's development agenda by providing quality broadband services.
Penambahbaikan Gedong sebagai sebuah daerah akan mempunyai satu perancangan seperti yang disebut oleh Yang Berhormat Ketua Menteri, dan saya faham benar beliau dalam menjadikan Gedong sebagai satu pusat pembangunan satelit. Bersamanya bermakna peningkatan perkhidmatan jalur lebar menjadi sebahagian daripada intipatinya. Perkhidmatan pusat satelit ini mesti didorong dengan penyediaan prasarana broadband yang berkualiti tinggi. Jadi kerajaan pusat mengalu-alukan saranan itu dan kementerian saya akan memastikan agenda yang diilhamkan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Ketua Menteri akan direalisasikan dalam masa yang terdekat.
Speaking after the launching of unified services and high-speed broadband internet in Gedong, he added the ministry will also pay close attention to the development of broadband internet and internet access in the area. As part of the state's post-COVID-19 development strategy, PCDS, the state government will be intensifying efforts to develop a hydrogen-based economy. Chief Minister Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said, with the clean nature of the energy will contribute to a positive spike in Sarawak's economy.
Beberapa sektor yang akan diberi tekanan untuk kita melonjakkan lagi kegiatan ekonomi kita ke arah masa depan yang berteraskan kepada green renewable environment. Sebab itu energi kita sudah berteraskan kepada renewable energy dan pula kita mesti mencari apakah trend dunia hari ini yang boleh menggantikan tenaga Kerana sekarang ini tenaga yang boleh menjas alam sekitar, iaitu fossil fuel. Nombor duanya batu arang. Jadi kita di Sarawak, kita bersyukur kerana kita ada asas green energy ini yang berteraskan pada air. Sebab itu kita juga explore the idea of hydrogen economy menggunakan hydrogen.
With the establishment of several existing and upcoming dams in Sarawak, Abang Johari said that it could also be used as a floating solar power generator.
Kita boleh gunakan tasik dam kita, gunakan dam sebagai floating solar yang juga mengeluarkan tenaga. Apabila tenaga kita ini adalah tenaga yang mesra alam, maka tentu sekali pelaburan akan datang. Ini akan melonjakkan ekonomi kita. Kerana yang penting ialah energi. Selain daripada environment yang lain lah, energi ni penting dan harga energi pula very kompetitif. Dengan itu kegiatan ekonomi kita dapat berjalan hingga ke tahun 2030. Selepas itu sudah tentu ada rancangan lagi lah.
Among other initiatives that will be implemented under the PCDS are developing and improving infrastructures, promoting more tourism activities in the state, environment sustainability initiatives, and inculcating more talents and innovation in the state.
Even if they are children of farmers or fishermen who have difficult lives, they will be assisted to further their studies if they achieve excellent results in their examinations. Chief Minister Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said it has been the state government's policy to provide educational opportunities to the children of Sarawak, including through collaboration with international universities to ensure that they receive quality education. According to Abang Johari, to guarantee that excellent students in the state can further their studies, the state government had established ICATS, University College.
Pada asasnya kita mempunyai kurikulum silabus ataupun asasnya yang berdasarkan kepada Cambridge. Maka kita tubuhkan 5 international school, iaitu residential school. Dan ini akan membolehkan anak petani, anak nelayan, siapa saja yang mempunyai result yang begitu baik untuk memasuki sekolah tersebut dengan bayaran. Kalau yang miskin, kita ada beasiswa dan juga Yayasan Sarawak akan mengambil kira dan membolehkan anak kita mempunyai pelajaran yang agak berkualiti hingga ke tahap secondary dan terus ke universiti antarabangsa lah, kalau mereka berjaya. Jadi kita tidak ada mengambil dasar mutlak. Tetapi dalam dasar pendidikan negara, the Ministry of Education, they allow private school. Yang ini semi-private lah sebab kerajaan negeri yang membangunkan sekolah ini. Yang kedua ialah universiti. Sebab itu kerajaan kita menerusi Yayasan Sarawak, kita bekerjasama dengan Swinburne dan Curtin. Yang ini adalah universiti private. Kita punya, tapi dia punya pembelajaran berteraskan kepada pembelajaran induk, Universiti Induk di Melbourne dan juga Curtin di Perth.
He reiterated that in the existing education system, the overall results can be achieved through talent and human development because the policy wants to equip every individual with knowledge and skills. He said this in an exclusive interview bersama CM Abang Jo, presented by TVS.
Dalam episod akan datang, Empresses in the Palace.
是过的。朕记得你叫宋芝。
回皇上的话，奴婢姓乔，宋芝是娘娘赐的名字。
芝兰玉树。
贱人！阿妃，你做什么？景仁宫岂容你放肆？
世间尊卑有道，哪里有尊贵之身 为卑贱之身生气之缘故呢？那岂不是太便宜了那些卑贱之人？
你
Jangan lupa, Isnin hingga Khamis, 9:30 malam.
婉嫔，
Empresses in the Palace.
去吧。
皇上，
Di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
akan berfixing items happy kerana abak tandang menua pusing korban diingatkan yang mereka terutama di madah kecaranya and you can see salam sejahtera warnailah hidupmu tampilkanlah bakat baru Sarawak pasti maju menginspirasi duniamu.
Now, one of the focuses in the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS manifesto is to empower women through businesses. GPS candidate in Dalat, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah said, if given the mandate, this effort will be continued, especially the agenda to empower women entrepreneurs through digital economy. She added many women in the Dalat area have been involved in businesses for ages, from the glorious days of logging, or better known as the timber boom in the 50s to 80s. These groups, at the same time, she said, were able to work independently to support their families when their husbands left to work in logging camps. The spirit still lives on among the present businesswomen to support their families as well as increase their income.
Dan dengan itu, wanita ini perlu menambah pendapatan dengan cara berjual, ya, berniaga, bekerja di berkebun dan sebagainya. Dan semangat ini berterusan. Semangat iaitu ingin menyumbang kepada keluarga, ya, pendapatan keluarga masih kekal dan telah menjadi satu budaya, dan semangat inilah yang sangat kita galakkan. Dan alhamdulillah di Bazanita kita dapat lihat manifestasi semangat ingin menyumbang kepada pendapatan keluarga dan dapat berdikari.
Bazanita was completed in October last year and mainly made up of women entrepreneurs. The building, which is iconic, was decorated with a Melanau Terundak hat, which was made by the folks of Kampong Tanam. It was believed to be able to nurture the spirit of entrepreneurship among Dalat women, in addition to making Bazanita a symbol for the locals to excel in entrepreneurship. There are a total of 45 stalls in the building, and a management committee was established to ensure that the facilities and operations continue to be maintained at their best. Less than a week before polling day, the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS election machinery in Tebedu has intensified their campaign for the party's candidate, Dr. Simon Sinang Bada. As such, Sinang expressed that he won't be underestimating his counterparts, as he has been chosen to continue the legacy of Tebedu incumbent, Dato' Amar Michael Manyin Jawong, in a five-cornered fight.
Pada hari ini persiapan kita berjalan dengan lancar. Kita dengan semangat yang ada, kita berharap akan memenangi pilihan raya pada kali ini. Walau bagaimanapun kita tidak boleh memandang ringan pihak lawan kita.
Sinang described his upcoming fight as healthy practice of democracy and that it will be the first time the constituency is seeing a five-cornered race for the seat.
Dan kita akan terus berusaha untuk meraih undi daripada orang ramai dan seterusnya supaya mereka terus memberi sokongan yang padu, sokongan yang jitu kepada parti GPS.
The prices of goods are expected to stabilize by early next year, with more countries expected to open up the economic sectors. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said movement restrictions were also experienced by other countries that export food products to Malaysia, thus resulting in shortages of food supplies in the country.
Sebab kerajaan terus membantu untuk mengurangkan bebanan kerana kenaikan harga. Sebab itulah baru ni apabila racun naik harga, kita bagi insentif subsidi racun. supaya apabila harga racun dikurangkan, harga sayur sepatutnya tidak dinaikkan sebab kita dah tanggung dari segi subsidi racun. Dan salah satu yang kita laksanakan adalah jualan murah. Saya percaya saya difahamkan 20 hingga 50% diskaun harganya. Ini juga untuk membantu rakyat dan program ini dilaksanakan selama 3 bulan sehingga bulan Mac. Tujuannya untuk mengurangkan tekanan kepada rakyat.
The Prime Minister said to cushion the impact of increasing prices of goods, the government has organized sale promotions which offer low prices of goods in addition to providing allocations and incentives to the affected groups. Various programs and projects will continue to be implemented by the government in an effort to look after the welfare of the people. He added these included improving the infrastructure in rural areas, whereby the Rural Development Ministry had been allocated an additional 500 million ringgit to be used for the purpose, among others.
The targeted 92% for 4G coverage in Sarawak by the third quarter of next year is realistic and achievable. Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said this was not empty talk to fish for votes in the 12th Sarawak state election. Anwar said that efforts to improve communication infrastructure in the state had begun way before the election dates were announced. The target had been set based on the progress of the project's implementation carried out previously.
Okey, tahun 2020, 2 years ago, keadaan bekalan 4G di Sarawak hanya pada tahap 72%. Ya. Lepas kita laksanakan jendela pada tahun tahun lalu, akhir tahun lalu, third quarter tahun lalu, masa kita lancar awal tahun 2020. Akhir tahun 2020, lepas pengal ketiga tahun lalu, naik kepada 83% coverage, ya. Dan baru ini kita keluarkan lagi tender untuk fasa yang kedua, jendela untuk siap pada tahun 2022. Okey, 2022. Tapi yang pengal ketiga, third quarter, baru-baru ini, laporan resmi yang dah pun dikemukakan kepada Kabinet, Sarawak dah berada pada tahap 83%. Meaning dalam masa setahun 10% progress dicapai, dan akhir tahun depan daripada 83 kita yakinlah tentu boleh capai 92-93.
Anwar gave the assurance that development plans in Sarawak had never been election-driven. He hoped efforts taken by both the federal and state governments to develop the state do not end up being politicized.
Pembangunan di Sarawak, termasuk oleh Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak, tidak berorientasikan pilihan raya. Ya, saya dah 4 portfolio dalam Kabinet. Saya dah lama memerhatikan cara perjalanan pentadbiran Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak. Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak mempunyai perancangan yang cukup sistematik. Ada pilihan raya, tak ada pilihan raya, Negeri Sarawak ini being blessed by good leadership, having good leadership, very clear vision. Apa yang nak dibuat jangka pendek, apa yang nak buat jangka panjang.
Anwar is confident Sarawakians themselves are appreciative of what the Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS-led state government has done for them. He says that they will not be swayed easily by national-level sentiments.
Di Sarawak, kalau orang di Semenanjung tak pernah datang ke Sarawak, dia merasakan Sarawak ni takut nak datang kerana kononnya kurang kemajuan dan sebagainya. Tapi bila dia datang, dia akan lihat sungai di Sarawak lebih well developed, bandar di Sarawak lebih well developed, airport di Sarawak lebih well developed, luar bandar di Sarawak, hatta di rumah panjang ada kemudahan internet dan sebagainya. Jadi orang yang tak tahu, tapi kalau bagi orang yang tahu, negeri Sarawak telah membangun demikian rupa kerana Sarawak mempunyai pimpinan yang baik.
Tengok jebak, Mak. Barangkali burung dah masuk perangkap ni.
Putra dan Bongko
Bongkok adalah adik-beradik. Si abang iaitu Bongkok cacat sejak lahir, manakala adiknya Putra tampan dan mahir dalam ilmu persilatan. Mampukah si Bongkok menjadi satria meskipun dipandang hina oleh penduduk kampung?
Saya menyintai Wati, bang.
Saksikan Satria Jumaat ini jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Sebelum ini, Cik Syahidah merupakan peniaga keripik pisang yang menjalankan perniagaannya secara offline. Selepas mempelajari cara pemasaran melalui media sosial dan platform e-dagang, beliau berjaya meningkatkan jualan kepada 200 spek sebulan. Anda juga berpeluang untuk meningkatkan perniagaan anda. Kunjungi pedi yang berdekatan anda sekarang.
Jom bersama saya Khairul Nizam Naha mengembara dan meneroka keindahan alam di bumi Kenyalak.
Mengambil masa 1 jam 30 minit depend dengan kita orang komputer.
Banyak jalan tu ada ni kiri-kiri pasal baru tu dulu.
Setiap Isnin jam 10.30 malam hanya di saluran 122 Astro dan My TV. Jom ninjau.
Welcome back. A desperate search for survivors is underway in parts of 6 U.S. states devastated by powerful tornadoes that have left at least 83 people dead. Dozens more people are missing and entire towns were destroyed by about 30 tornadoes on Friday. President Biden has declared a disaster in Kentucky, the worst affected state.
More than 70 people have died in the state, including dozens in a candle factory, and the death toll is expected to rise above 100. 40 people have been rescued from the collapsed candle factory in Mayfield, but 60 more remain missing. One candle factory employee made a desperate plea for help on Facebook from under the wreckage as co-workers could be heard moaning in the background. Tornadoes also collapsed an Amazon warehouse in Edwardsville, Illinois, killing 6 people. Police said it was still unknown how many workers were missing. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos said he was heartbroken and pledged support to the community. Mr. Biden has signed a federal emergency disaster declaration releasing funds for Kentucky. He said the loss of life caused by the tornadoes was a tragedy.
For the first time since the pandemic started in 2020, supply chain constraints have forced Apple to halt production of its iPhone lineup. Apple has had to stop the assembly line for the first time in more than 10 years for several days due to supply chain limitations and China's ongoing power restriction.
Normally, Apple's production goes into overtime to meet the global demand for the upcoming holiday shopping season. Instead of workers getting extra shifts and scheduled for a 24-hour production, workers were given a time off. Apple has already cut back its iPhone 13 production projections in October. Even back in November, Apple had to give up iPad shipments to maintain the iPhone 13 production, and that still wasn't enough to prevent production from halting. According to Nikkei, September and October production of iPhone 13 models fell short of 20% from its initial goals. Currently, Apple faces a significant deficit, falling short of its 2021 iPhone production goal by 15 million units. Despite these issues, Apple allegedly is pressuring its suppliers to ramp up production this month and next month to prevent it from falling even further behind schedule.
Well, that concludes TVS Nightline.